feel like I'm saying this a lot lately, but this sounds like it could be the final split of the LCS ever. It's not that the league's going away, but it sounds like it might be renamed come 2025. So let's dive into the final season of The Pit. Well, LCS The Pit. If you don't know what I mean with that intro and what's going on with the LoL esports ecosystem going into 2025, be sure to check out both of the videos here, an extended podcast talking about the implications of Riot's changes in the global scale, as well as the initial reaction to the LCS bit. The TLDR is that we are going to be dropping from 8 teams to 6, picking up an LLA team, and then Tier 2 will have promotion relegation with 1 team getting promoted each and every year. While some overall good macro changes for our scene specifically, not going to get into the Brazilian part, you want that, check out the hour-long thing. The truth is, 10 players, coaching and management will be losing their jobs at the end of the split. So this split is very dire to trying to secure a spot in the 6 remaining teams that we have representing North America specifically without the Tier 2 promotion relegation squad. But people, for the most part, haven't been talking about the actual start of the split, which happens tomorrow. We've got some incredible matchups all around. You have the LCS Finals rematch from spring. You have C9 Blue versus C9 Yellow. The next day, you have 100 Thieves versus NRG, which was a fantastic playoff series, and the two should really be leveling up coming into summer. There's a lot to look forward to, but you're not here for that. The title of the video is Power Rankings. So yes, I'm going to be giving my exact power rankings of where I think teams will end up by the end of the split. That doesn't mean regular season. That means this is the 1 through 8 final standing of who I think is going to finish where, who's going to Worlds, and who is winning the entire split. Really quick, 2 important messages. First, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, we are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. Be sure to do so down below. And second, we are having a watch party this weekend for the opening weekend of the LCS at NYC. I've got Riot swag to give away to everybody, including Poro beach balls, boomsticks, and Hardly Barding or Barding Hard shirts. We're giving out 1 after each game. Be sure to stop by. It is free. No cost to anything. Just come by, have a good time, buy a drink, buy some food from the venue, and I look forward to seeing you there. Back to the video. Starting with the bottom of the barrel, and I know Cloudsicky is not going to be happy with me on this, but I'm sorry, I have to say it. I don't have much of a choice. It is going to be Shopify Rebellion in last place. Look, luckily they're still going to be around in the LCS next year. They've made it clear that they still want to be a part of the partnerships, and like just because it's one bad split not going their way, nothing to be held against them, and they are notably bringing in a new jungler, in Tomio finally getting his chance. Or, well, he did have time last split as well. Either way, the reason why I see them finishing 8th is the top lane. Look, I love Fake God. I talked about it extensively last split, but he's kind of dealing with the Tim Tebow effect of I just don't see him leveling up to be able to compete with the other 7 top laners in this league. There's no way. With Fudge sitting on the bench, with Surdy waiting to come into the league, I think both of them would have been massive improvements for the squad that looks pretty good in bot lane. B-Boy is an incredible ADC. Insanity is very hit or miss, and I was looking for somebody that could give them a little bit of firepower in the top lane, but as it stands right now, I don't think they're going to be able to overcome some of the demons that they've already had. I think they can cause some upsets, for sure. I'm not discounting them, and I can see them hitting a potential ceiling as high as probably 5th if everything clicks, but I don't see that happening. I see them missing playoffs in last place. In 7th, should really not be a surprise to anybody, Immortals. I'm giving them some benefit of the doubt purely because I think a narrow coming in is going to help them, and I do think best of 3s is actually going to be really good for this squad in particular because they do have stage nerves, they do have stage fright. I think getting more experience, having the ability to play, in theory, more games is going to be a net positive for them. They could still finish last, by all means they could, and Castle and Mask could not see any improvement, but I thought Tactical was still a pretty good ADC in spring. I thought Ole had his moments where he shined through. Armeo, yeah, he's still here. He's still here. But we just heard all these rumors about them being scrim gods in spring. So maybe it's me taking stock into words that don't actually mean anything, but I just think they're going to put it together at least a little bit more and finish 7th. Yay. Sorry, you still missed playoffs. This is going to be my bold one that I know a lot of people won't like, but here we are. FlyQuest is going to finish 6th. Look, you're not here for simple takes. If you wanted that, go follow Emily Rand. She's going to give you the stock standard ones. Look, the honest to God truth is that there is a team every single split that has a summer fall off after going to an international event. You look at Golden Guardians last year. Yes, they were able to hold on and still finish 4th in the LCS, which would qualify them to that series where they would get stomped by BDS. But the remaining signs later in the split were clear that like they were dealing with burnout and the roster had collapsed. And you're already seeing issues with this FlyQuest roster to the point where they had to swap out Jensen for Quad. God, I nearly said Quid, and I'm gonna have that problem all the time. But they're also going to the Esports World Cup, and I just look. One of them or Team Liquid is going to crash out and have a horrendous end to the split. And I'm not willing to say it's Team Liquid. I'm willing to say that it is going to be FlyQuest. So yes, I know this is bold to have them that low, but FlyQuest 6th. In 5th, and pretty much in the same spot that they were in spring, is NRG. There's no denying that their bot lanes played pretty well in lane phase. Palafox did not have the best split. Contracts was hit or miss, but the area of most improvement clearly is going to be top lane with Dhokla, who I did get the chance to sit down and talk to coming into the summer split and get his thoughts on where he wants to be at the end and what he's got to prove. How's it going, man? How's your break?
Good. Just grinding, pretty much. Yeah.
Staying busy the entire time. That's always good.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on MSI?
I thought TL did pretty well. For an international performance, but whatever happened at FlyQuest, whatever happened there. But yeah, I mean, I kind of expected Genji wins. I thought they were, the most dominant team, but we're just really excited to see G2, take it to Game 5. But yeah, so it's pretty entertaining, MSI.
I mean, hopefully we get to see you guys rematch up against them come
Yeah.
Worlds. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Looking forward to that as well.
So, new split, new expectations. Give me, if you were to like write a headline for yourself going into the split, what would it be?
For myself, I'm playing with nothing to lose this split, yeah.
Why is that?
I mean, it kind of just hit me. Like last split, I just had a really bad split personally, I would say, and as a team overall. So, honestly, I wasn't even sure if I would be here this summer because I thought I played that poorly. So, just gonna have to make the most of this split, and I think already in scrims we're doing a way better job of just taking it more seriously and being more connected. And I think everyone's leveled up in terms of just trying to win as a team.
Is there any merit to the idea of like post-win blues of like, chasing that trophy for such a long time, and then the following split you have the combination of the increased expectations. You're defending champions, people expect like a whole other level from you, in addition to like, and you're human, and like you achieve this goal that you've strived for so long for. Like at some point the body just relaxes at least a little bit.
Yeah, I guess I've kind of went through that twice in my career. Like after I dropped into amateur, making it back into LCS, that was like a really big achievement for me. So that was like the first one, and then after winning LCS and doing well at Worlds, it was kind of another one. So in a way, yes, but I've also like tried to. I mean, for last I pretty much play the same amount of time that I normally do, which is pretty much like after scrims pretty much every day until like 10, 11. So my schedule didn't really change in terms of how much or how long I practiced didn't necessarily change. I still put in like the same amount of effort, I guess, but I think I just had like a bad way of going about it. I think just read something like perfect practice makes perfect, not just practice makes perfect. So I think being more intentional with how I practice is the biggest thing I'm trying to change for this split.
I've heard the message I was always told growing up was that practice makes permanent. Whatever you're practicing will be ingrained into you, whether it's right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That that's up to interpretation from there. But good, interesting to hear. Top lane changing a little bit this split. You got Thanatos in, you got Licorice back in, Fudge out, Rich out. Where do you think top lane coming into the split now stands relative to coming into spring split? Like, do you think it's a stronger, like overall, is the talent pool stronger with the swap out of these two, or is it around the same?
I mean, theoretically it's stronger, but I don't necessarily know because we haven't played against C9 yet. I mean, I think they just got in a couple of days ago or something. But I think we'll just have to see, but theoretically, I think it should be a stronger pool of top laners this split. And excited to see myself rise to the challenge.
Anybody in particular that you want to play up against?
No, just pretty much everyone, because I think last split was a really poor reflection of what I can do, and I want to change people's perceptions this time around.
Okay. Best of threes. We're finally getting that changed. This will be. Your debut was with Optic back in 2018, so you never played best of threes in the LCS, correct?
Yeah, I'm not.
You excited for it?
I'm very excited because I mean, pretty much my whole career I've been playing best of ones in the regular season. So and it feels weird to like, wake up and then go to the office, have all your pregame rituals, whatever, just to play one game. It feels like, it just feels like one game determines like your whole time, and then like you might not even be like fully warmed up, or yeah. So I think best of three gives way more opportunity for you to like settle in, and as well as just the better team overall will win more consistently. So I think that's gonna be really good.
Does the waiting feel like it
competition-wise.
changes as well?
What do you mean the waiting?
Because
Like in between games, or
no, because like last year, so say you play 100 Thieves first week. Say you played 100 Thieves in a best of one early on. It's like, okay, you lose, you can kind of get them back later in the split. And one game in relation to 18 doesn't really make that big of a difference. But one series is now 1/8 of your split. So like, you will not, say you beat 100 Thieves now, or you lose to them either way, you don't play them again until playoffs at minimum.
Yeah.
So it's like the waiting in theory is different, but I wasn't sure if that felt the same way for you guys.
Yeah, I guess the pressure to win every series is much higher because you're only gonna face them once, and so it's really important that you put your best foot forward and get the best record you can. I mean, it's pretty, just crazy that you only play 8 series like in a whole split. To me, that doesn't seem competitively like, it's like a good. I'm blanking the word, but
Good like barometer of skill.
yeah. But I'm trying to think of like any league where it's like that. You only play once.
It's not. It literally like we are the only league that really kind of
not
does that.
just like in all sports, not even just like esports.
I mean, to be fair, like if you compare it to,
I guess the NFL is like the closest comparison.
NFL is the one I was going to point out to, because you have teams that you will never play all year unless you make it to the Super Bowl. But even then, there's still divisional teams that you're playing twice a year within your conference. So even then, there still is that element of like, there's a few teams that you will always play against twice, and those budding rivalries kind of go from there. But yeah, LCS is the only sport to my knowledge that like has that.
Yeah, I guess NFL is like the only close comparison, but it makes the games mean a lot more. So hopefully that'll draw in more attention. And certainly as a competitor, I'm more excited for a best of 3 overall than a best of 1. Because I think the week beforehand, you're just gonna be prepping exclusively for that team. Pretty much all your practice is dedicated to beating the single opponent. So it feels like very playoff-esque in the regular season, which I'm really looking forward to.
All we gotta do is get viewership up, get more people watching, and then all of a sudden we can expand days, get a bigger budget. Then we go to 4 days a week and 2 best of like.
It's a DDoS Valorant servers or something.
That too.
Yeah.
Final question I got for you is just on like the meta in general. I know early on in your career you played a lot of Camille top lane. We saw it start to come back at MSI. I'm not sure where the meta's at in terms of your guys' scrim. Obviously, we're on a much different patch. But are there champions that you really want to see played this split that you haven't had the chance to in a while?
I mean, I think that the meta is pretty open in terms of what can be played right now. So I kind of think it's just how much you want to experiment and how comfortable you are playing these quote-unquote off-meta picks. I think there's a lot of room for just experimentation. So I'm excited to pull out whatever I think is good. and it kind of depends on like what I can counterpick with, and given like the team comp and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think it's, especially in a best of 3. I mean, you can definitely pull out advantages, especially in draft. Like people will have to adapt to like this as the series goes on. So yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty fun.
Looking forward to seeing what tricks you got up your sleeve. If you could bring back the York, that'd be great. I'd love to see it again.
That's the second time I've heard it today.
Really?
It's probably gonna, yeah. My last interview was asking me like the York, you know, like, and I was surprised how many people still remember the York.
Bro,
but,
I'm a longtime Optic fan. I still remember you smashing Echo Fox with that. Like, you put him in the ground so bad. I think you went deathless that game. It was like 6-0 and 3 or something like that. And you literally couldn't be stopped. And it was like...
I don't even remember who I was playing against that time.
I don't even know who...
The only York game I remember was against Golden Guardians. I might have played against Echo Fox as well, but...
The only reason I remember this is because we have watch parties here in New York City where like a bunch of us get together and like watch at a bar. And we had 2 people that traveled in from Washington, D.C. up to New York. And they were both wearing Echo Fox jerseys. And they were chirping mad shit because I was the only guy wearing an Optic shirt. And they're like, "You're ready to lose, right?" And the second you locked in Yorick, I said, "Okay, you guys are fucked. Like, you can't do shit. We've seen him play this champion like twice. You're done. Like, doesn't matter anything else, you're done." And the look at the stain on their face as the game went on was just great. It was so good to be able to chirp them the entire time.
That is great, honestly.
But any final words you got for the NRG fans out there that are looking forward to hopefully a fun summer split with you guys?
Yeah. You know, last split we did pretty poorly considering you know, the run that we came off of. But I think this split will, you know, make amends of what went wrong in spring and give the fans something to cheer about in summer.
Gotcha. Final question I have is completely separate. Is more of a TikTok related question. I'm assuming you've watched Arcane, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to name one character that you want to die and one character that you want to live from that council meeting that's about to get Jinx rocketed at the start of season 2.
Oh my god. Dude, Merdata? I forgot what her name is.
Yeah, Mel Medarda, I think.
Mel Medarda. She's a baddie. I don't want her to die, man. But everyone else can go, but everyone but her.
Really? You want to kill off Victor?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, you're one of the few that's gonna say that. Everybody else seems to have a soft spot for him, and you're just like, fuck him.
No. Okay, I will say his line. Like, what's your name? Like, it's Victor. Like, that was like such a cool line. It kind of brought together like the league lore and like just the series. For me, I think that really like that line was really sick when I first heard it, and the voice actor on that was really sick too. It was just like perfect. So I do really like Victor, but honestly, who's in the meeting? Heimer, Jace.
Heimer was not there. Heimer was down with Echo down in Zaun because like Echo busted his ankle. He was like, it was Jace, Victor, Mel, and then you had all the councilmen, which was like Caitlyn's mom. You had the dude that had like the gear thing around his neck, whatever fucked up look that was.
Honestly, I haven't watched Arcane since like it released pretty much, so my memory is pretty spotty on it. So I might have to rewatch it by the time Arcane the second season comes out.
All right.
Refresh on it. Yeah.
You got a few months. You got 4 or 5 months. So
yeah.
After Worlds, get a quick refresher and then go from there.
Yeah. Watch it on the plane back.
There you go. All right. Thank you so much for your time, man. Don't let me take up much more. Have a good rest of the day.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. See you, man. Breaking into the top 5, number 4, good old Dignitas. Look, this squad's got a roster of veterans that are stacked. Assuming Licorice comes back and is able to retain his form that he had whenever we last saw him, they're going to be good. Zven's an incredible ADC. Spica's a good jungler. Even if FlyQuest did have their fall off and did have their issues, I still think they're going to be amazing. And then you look at mid lane picking up Jensen as well. Like, he was just in finals. I get, like, the team had issues and clearly it wasn't working working out, but like, I'm not discounting the fact that he has still played incredibly well and he's got good teammates around him. So yeah, I honestly see this squad being very good at best of threes, setting themselves up well into best of fives, but I don't think they have that X factor to put them over the edge of the other three teams, part of which is bias. I will acknowledge that right away. But look, I'm feeling good about Dignitas. I honestly am. So 4th for them, I feel like is like really good and gives them a chance at, you know, trying to sway opinion of keeping themselves in the league. At number 3, did you think I was going to put them anything lower? Really? No. Look, I get a lot of people are going to be down on 100 Thieves this split as if they weren't already placing them 8th coming into spring, but sure, whatever. For summer, people are going to say, oh, this squad struggled in best of fives and didn't look the same. I've already done a full rendezvous video on that, breaking that down and why that I think is going to be wrong, but also why the squad is going to continue to build. If I had a choice for this 100 Thieves squad, I'd make sure they play a 3-game series every single week to build up momentum, to build up experience, and get them used to playing in that environment so that come best of fives, they are prepped. I truly believe that come best of fives, they will be ready, they will be good to go, and 3rd place is entirely possible for this roster. Which means we're down to 2 for the top 2. And I know I said for Cloud9 at the beginning of spring that it'd be a failure if they didn't win both splits. And I honestly think it's still a failure if they don't win this split. But bringing in Thanatos for this squad should mean that they are a clear upgrade from where they were in spring. I still do have questions around the general level of Vulcan and of Blabber, who I don't think are performing up to like the insane highs that we've seen them with. Jojo Pune is Jojo Pune. I'm not gonna lie, he played incredibly well. And you just keep doing you, bud. Hopefully your team comes around you at some point. And Berserker, yeah, I'm expecting him to play a lot better. Dude got a fire lit under his ass at the end of last split, and I fully expect this to come around. I'm just not sold that Thanatos in particular is going to be enough to put them over my number 1 team in Team Liquid. Look, they're coming off an incredible MSI performance, and I know there's burnout that can potentially happen with them, and it does set up a clear road for Cloud9 to win it all. But I just think this team keeps getting better day after day, and I think their performance at MSI and just the overall chemistry of the team is going to propel them to a clear number 1 status. I'd like to see them get challenged, but maybe when they win Summer Split, people will stop writing off APA as one of the, you know, middle-of-the-road mid laners. No, he's freaking good. We already know Impact. We already know Core JJ. Umti still has his ups and his downs, his moments where he's a little bit iffy, but for the most part is good. And then Yeon is the de facto best ADC in the league, without question. And I got the chance to sit down and talk to him about the upcoming split, and he identified me as the 100 Thieves guy, which is a little awkward.
Hello, I'm doing good. How about you?
Can't complain. Another day, ready to finally get this shit kicked off. Finally.
Oh, so 100 Thieves super fan.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, you know. I was wondering if that reputation would ever come back to bite me in the ass at times.
Oh, yeah, are you not still?
Oh, no, I definitely am. This is I never know how to parade that in interviews. That's always a fine line to balance. But you guys kicked our ass, so what the hell can I say? How was your break, man? I know things are a little bit busy post MSI, but
Nah, not too busy. I was a bit bored. Stream just started, so it's fun.
okay, very nice. You guys got what, first match in 9 days? Think it's gonna be fully polished and ready to go by then, or
9 days? Yeah, 9 days, right?
something
On the
like that?
15th?
Yeah, it's in like next
Yeah.
week. And
Yeah, it's like next week. Yeah, it's exciting, especially first time playing BO3s in like a regular season.
Yeah. How are you guys? I guess just general scheduling question. How are you guys managing the split? You guys tapering in the middle? Because I know you guys are in a very unique position where you have to travel midway through, and it's just you and FlyQuest. But luckily there is that break. Are you going to be tapering it all leading up to that point, or at least
Tapering?
Yeah, so tapering's a concept in sports where like you save your physical peak until the very end. Like you have to give it like 85 to 90% to be able to get to where you need to then exude 100%. So you don't use up everything until you have to.
I think we just started scrimming like 2 days ago. So this is our 3rd day of scrimming. So I think we're just like trying to get back into it because we took like 2-week break, something like that, 3-week break. So I think we're just getting into it back, just normal schedule. We're just going into it.
Does it change with best of threes now with you guys having like that extra day? In theory, you're not playing on both Saturday and Sundays, either one or the other.
I actually don't know how it works exactly. I know one of those days is off, but haven't experienced it and haven't like heard anything. I'm just playing the game. I think most of us are pretty similar. We just play the game and just waiting to see how it works out.
Fair enough. I mean, you guys have played more than most this year so far. Coming back from MSI, what's the number one thing that you're kind of taking into the LCS this split?
Just trying to compare how it was playing like from international stage to here, because it does seem like there's a lot less in-game pressure from like the players, like the game itself, less pressure because the players are like way less not skilled, but like there's a lot less pressure coming from the players itself.
Yeah, because that was always the double lift trope, right? Of like you go to international stage and then you come back, and then the question is like, how meaningful does LCS feel, especially whenever the caliber does drop? Not to insult anybody in the LCS, but just like calling a spade a spade. It's not the same.
There's nothing you can say about it. Like if some other team went to international and says, "Oh yeah, scrimming against Genji or like T1 versus scrimming TL is like, it's not close," you know?
Is there anything I guess you take away from practicing against those top teams then that like you think LCS teams need to do better to get to that point? Like not even to compete, but at least just like so practice doesn't feel that different.
Yeah, so since we played against the like top teams mostly in scrims, I would say we scrim pretty much every top team. I think we took away what a lot of teams do good. So whenever when we don't make a mistake, I think a lot of times in review we just say, "Oh yeah, that player would have punished us if we did that," but like we didn't get punished there. So like there's a lot like we try to like say. Recently, it's been like since we just started practicing recently, it would be like, yeah, that team would have punished us there for sure. But then we're playing in NA, so we just have to make sure we hold ourselves more accountable, I would say.
Yeah.
And like to a higher standard because we actually know what other players have done to us in the past.
Yeah. Makes sense. Somebody asked me the other day how I would label you as an ADC, and I didn't really have an answer for that. Because like using Han Sama as an example, like people label him as like the early game god that's like gonna smash you with Draven, Kalista, like picks that are gonna dominate lane early. What I guess let me ask you it because I didn't have a good answer. What would you label yourself as an ADC? Like,
Well, I do think I'm very flexible, and I can make very like quick decisions overall. I think I'm just like a very flexible overall player. Is that what I would say?
Okay. I mean, so that comes in your handy then, especially with the meta changing. Because I mean, granted, you guys, like you said, you've only been scrimming for a few days, but I'm assuming this is the first time you've played like organized play on the new patch in the new meta. Is there anything throwing you, or not throwing you for a loop, but is there like anything new that we should be on the lookout for?
To be honest, I haven't like said my public stance on how the meta is, but I think the 80k meta is completely dog shit.
Really?
I think it's like completely terrible. I think Riot kind of ruined 80k in my opinion, is how I feel about it.
Really?
So I think for the most part, I actually think they did a poor job of changing. Because I think the meta is like pretty similar. I don't think much has changed.
Oh no, so we're still in Varus, Kalista, Senna.
Could be, it's hard to say, but
Oh damn it.
I think they did a good job for adding some stuff, but it seems like I think they did a bad job of changing like the power balancing of stuff.
So, damn, because I was kind of hoping we'd see picks. It's a little bit older at this point. I wouldn't say they're as flashy.
It's a BO3. You're definitely gonna see more picks. I think the meta shifted like a lot, at least in their other areas, but 80 carry is like kind of fucking weak right now. I'm gonna be honest. Everyone says it's like strong, but like the 80 players are completely coping.
I mean, you guys are also playing in a different way than the majority of us are. Like most of us, we go into solo queue and you can just pick a champion. Like you pick MF or Jhin and have fun with it. You pick Jhin at a pro level. Like there's a different level of expectation that you guys have to go into a game with than we do. Different level of execution.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing is for me is that they didn't nerf the only thing that mattered. They nerfed everything else, but they didn't nerf the one thing they should have changed.
Which is
Halo Blades. They like dabbled a little fucking touch on it, but
they got rid of lethal tempo. You know, you knocked down one bird, they forgot the other with the stone apparently.
one of the worst 80 carry changes.
Really?
At that point, they should have just gotten rid of Halo Blades completely instead. Is how I view it.
I mean, as a Varus main, I'm not going to complain about that. I would rather have lethal tempo back personally, but
Oh no, I'm saying they should have gotten rid of Halo Blades and kept Lethal Tempo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would
Oh,
love
yeah,
to have
yeah.
Lethal Tempo back. That would
Yeah,
be
I would love
amazing.
to have Lethal Tempo on bars. I'm like, wow, on-hit AD carries kind of suck now. That really feels bad.
Yeah, you're telling me. I've been preaching that for years. That on-hit Varus
those
sucks to
there's
play.
so much more fun.
All right, well, one day maybe you'll finally get some love in that from that point of view. So you're facing a new AD carry in the league. By new, I mean kind of old in Sven.
Right, yeah.
I don't think you never played him as ADC, have you? You've only ever played him as a support berserker.
I played against him once in like a scrim in academy.
Okay.
It was like a really long time ago. It was like once, like when he was like put down to like academy for like a couple weeks, I think.
Yeah, there was that like weird swapping period with C9 back in like the LS
I
era.
played scrim against him that one time.
So what's your thoughts going into that matchup? Are you excited for it, or is it just another day?
I think he's a very solid all-around player, but I don't think there's like a. For now, I don't think there's an outline. Like he does something way better than the other AD carries.
Yeah. I mean that's fair.
I think his farming is very good.
What would you assess like the oh, with Sever coming back, that's great. What would you assess like the overall caliber of LCS ADCs right now? Like where do you think the pool stands?
Name-wise, it's very weak, I would say. But I think the overall skill of bot lane is. So we got IMT bot lane, Dignitas bot lane, Shopify. I think most bot lanes are not bad right now, honestly. But compared to like MSI is like probably not very close, I would say.
So you're saying Meech and Ayla still have work to do then?
They might have a little bit more work to do than the other bot laners.
Oh, you're killing me, bro. Come on.
They're very good. It's if they do well in a team fight meta, it's very good for them.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, maybe we'll see. You guys can now come in as defending champions. The last time we saw this with a team was with NRG in summer, where a bunch of new faces got their first title, and they come in. I just got done talking to Thinkard and Dhokla, and both of them said the same thing. Playing with the weight of being defending champions is different than playing with nothing to like with not no expectations, but like it's different when you're expected to be the top. Are you worried at all about like the weight of the crown in a way?
For me, not personally, I don't really care that much because my stance on winning usually, my opinion on winning is like two things. I think that it has a lot to do with hard work and like understanding what's good, and I think the other half for me is luck. I think there's a lot of luck to do with winning sometimes.
Does that go? I mean, does that go away in theory with best of three, or is it that just like a general statement around like LoL esports in general?
Just League of Legends in general. I think most teams have their own unique ways of playing, and sometimes that unique way of playing is like just good in that time. Like certain champion pools are good in certain metas, you know?
No,
like,
that's fair.
If it was an assassin meta, then some assassin mid laner would be really good, you know? I would say.
Yeah. Makes sense. Curious. The team that you had accompany you at MSI has made a change. Do you think FlyQuest is actually better with quad now, or is it just a lateral move?
I mean, personally, I thought Jensen was one of their best performing players from outside perspective in like the playoffs timing and maybe even regular season because his champion pool was like still good and he was a very solid all-around player. But I think it seems like from the public, what everyone's saying and what they're saying is that they want someone who's more proactive, it seems like, which I don't think they really need, but maybe they have more info than we do, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they need, but I just thought that Jensen was a good fit for them. But apparently they didn't agree, so.
I mean, I think your opinion on it's just as valuable as anybody else. Like, you're actually the one playing against them in the game. You're, like, even if coaches and everybody internally, like, they have scrims and they can point shit out, it's like, you are literally on the other side trying to kill him. Like, you know more than anybody else would on the topic. So,
it could be a good change, could be a bad change. Hard to say. Who knows? We'll have to see.
We'll see. Anything in particular you're really looking forward to for summer? And any message to the TL fans?
What am I looking forward to this summer? I'm looking forward for them to change the meta a little bit.
Really driving that point home.
Yeah, and I don't know. Hopefully we meet expectations at least for the fans. And thanks for supporting.
I mean, I think the expectation at this point is make it to Worlds and don't
Make it
let
to Worlds, win.
G2 win a best of 5 over us. That's the one thing that we got going as a region that we're holding on to for dear life.
True.
That's it for league questions. I just got one final like TikTok one for you. I'm assuming you watched Arcane.
Yeah, I skipped around. It was interesting.
Okay. Final scene has like Jinx firing a rocket at the council. Name one person you want to die and one person you want to live from that meeting. That includes like Jace, Victor, Mel, and like anybody else from the council.
Who the Mel was the girl, right?
Yeah, the girl, she was hooking up with Jace. Yeah.
Okay, so there was only 3 of them, or what?
I mean, there was the whole count. So there's like Caitlyn's mom, the dude with like the gear neck thing, like bunch of no-name people, but then the 3 big ones would be Mel, Jace, and Victor.
So between those 3, you want me to pick?
One has to die, one gets to live. The others will be ambiguous, but like you get to definitively say one lives, one dies.
I'll kill Victor, let Jace live.
Really?
I don't remember the story that much, but I just don't like Victor. He's just something about him, just like maybe in game, maybe not Arcane. I just don't like Victor.
I think you're the exact opposite of.
Didn't he turn evil as well? The Jace guy? Actually, the Victor guy. Actually, they were both pretty evil, right?
I mean, it's one of those that like they're bad, but bad as a result of choices and trying to do good. So like Victor, I mean, we play the game. We know where in theory it's going, but it's not there yet. So
yeah,
I mean, you're basically taking the whole would you kill a problem before it happened type thing.
I don't remember the story that much. I just don't like Victor that much in general as a champion in League as well.
I mean, I agree with you. That's bullshit to play against, but that's pretty much all I got, man. Unless you got anything else you want to say and get out there, I'll let you get over. I know you got a bunch more shit to do today, so have fun.
Hopefully not.
Hey, it's media day. You got to have fun with the camera, right?
That's true.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
So this is it. This is my final power rankings for the entire split, where I think every team is going to finish. I know some of this is probably shocking to some people. I'm not out here to do it for clicks. I'm just telling you, like, this is my honest to God, like, opinion of where I think this will all fall. But let me know in the comments, where do you agree, where do you disagree? I'd imagine FlyQuest is going to be the hot one for a lot of people, but look, somebody has fallen off after MSI every year, so don't shoot the messenger. Thanks for tuning in. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. Be sure to do so if you haven't done it already, and I'll catch you on the next video.